as well. That's just a simple introduction about myself, but let me go into the main session. So basically today I'll be talking to us about building your first professional app with Microsoft Teams App Studio. I'm sure a lot of us have been building app using PowerHubs.com, which is PowerHub Studio. But some of us have not actually tried building the app with Microsoft Teams App Studio. And Microsoft have made it very easy for you now to be able to build an app even with Teams App Studio. It's very simple than building an app on PowerHubs itself, right? So that's what I'm going to take us through today. Building your first professional app from Microsoft Teams App Studio. So who is your speaker for today? Your speaker is Adewale Yusuf. I'm a business intelligence analyst and trainer at DBrand Consulting. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a lead Nigeria Power Platform or your user group. I also moderate MCT West Africa Virtual Series. I am also a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, MVP, and those are my social media handles. You can connect with me on Twitter at Adewale Analyst, on YouTube, Adewale Yusuf, then on LinkedIn as well. You can just look for Adewale Yusuf. Now let's go into the main session. So what is our agenda for today? So for today, we are going to be talking about introduction to Power Platform. Then we'll do a little introduction to PowerHubs, then introduction to Teams itself. Then we'll go into the demo, which is building your first professional app from Microsoft Teams App Studio. So for those of us that are hearing Power Platform for the first time, or this is the first time you hear about something called Power Platform. So Power Platform is a low-code platform that spans through Office 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and different standalone applications. And then this Power Platform consists of 4 different key products of Microsoft, which is Power BI, PowerHubs, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent. So a lot of us are familiar with Power BI already. So Power BI is for analytics, for business analytics. You do a lot of beautiful dashboard. Then PowerHubs is for application development. So you develop different applications, and which we are going to use today. There's Power Automate for process automation. You automate almost all your process. Then there's Power Virtual Agent, which Jumoke MJ just talked about. Power Virtual Agent is interesting as well, and I'm sure you just watch the session and you see how powerful Power Virtual Agent can be. You don't need to be a developer or maybe an IT guru before you can develop all this solution. You can see the way Jumoke just simplify everything for us. Then even if you're a developer and you are watching this session today, just know that you can even develop faster than ever before with Microsoft Power Platform. Maybe you are the one that is very good with SQL Azure, you are good with Microsoft Graph, just like David. I'm sure you guys saw David Okede when he was presenting, and he did a lot of things in writing a lot of code using different Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. So if you're a developer, you can develop more. Now, if you're not a developer, some people may even ask, what is an app? An app is a type of a software that allows you to perform specific tasks, application for a desktop or laptop. Computers are sometimes called desktop application, while those for mobile devices are called mobile app, right? So you can build like a tablet app and also a mobile app, right? With Microsoft PowerHub. So Microsoft PowerHub empower every developer to do more. So you're a citizen developer, you're an IT developer, or you're a pro developer. So citizen developer basically me and you that we don't really like writing code. We don't like doing a lot of PowerShell and all those terminal. So you can just easily adapt Power Platform and you can easily build a lot of solutions with Power Platform. Okay, so PowerHubs really, which we are talking about today, is a low-code approach to building app, like I said, and you can easily build app with full-featured low-code and no-code platform. You can connect your existing data with over 250 pre-built connectors and custom connectors. You can store your data in something called Common Data Service. We provide enough security for your data. You can also integrate the app with Office 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and Power BI. Strong enterprise governance and security, even on your app. Now, what is Microsoft Teams? For some of us that are new to Microsoft Teams, I'm sure a lot of us know Microsoft Teams already. So Microsoft Teams allow you to do a lot of collaboration You can do a lot of things in Microsoft Teams actually. So I call Microsoft Teams the hub of virtual training. The hub of virtual training, because you can do a lot of things with Teams. You can collaborate on a document. You can easily share something with your team member. You can do a lot of things with Teams, right? And that is why we are integrating PowerHubs with Teams today. Okay, I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy the demo. So we are going into the demo now. We're going to the demo now, and the demo basically will just show us how to build your app easily with Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to share my screen now, share my demo now. Okay, so this is Teams that we are all familiar with. So this is Microsoft Teams. I'm using Microsoft Teams on the web. So I'm not using the one for, I'm not using Teams on desktop. So I'm using Teams on web, and then I'm sure you guys are familiar with this interface already. So this is Microsoft Teams for those that are looking at this for the first time. And these are different. I have a team here and different channels under it, and then these are different things that you can add to your tenant. But presently now, I want to integrate PowerHubs with Power Automate, with PowerHubs with Teams, right? That's what I want to do. So if I click on this ellipsis here, which is this 3 dot here, there are different apps here that I can add to Teams. You can see PowerHubs app, you can see Jira Cloud, OneNote, Poly, Shift, Stream. So, but the one I want to add now is PowerHubs. So let's assume the app they are looking for is not here. You can easily search for it, and then you see it right there. So the one I want is PowerHub apps. So I'll click on it, PowerHubs. So I'm connecting this PowerHubs to my Teams, and this is it right here. Now look at this, Teams plus PowerHub. So this make a lot of very great integration. Microsoft PowerHubs make it easy to build app for your business need, from tracking time of requests, managing the inventory. And you can see Teams and PowerHubs here, Teams plus PowerHubs, which is very easy to create an app, even than ever before. A lot of people have to do, when you are creating an app, what a lot of people do, what they do is that you can use Excel as your data source, you can use SharePoint as your data source, you can leave CDS as your data source, you can do different things. But for Teams, you can easily connect to your data source right there in Teams. So look at what I'm going to do now. If I click on create an app, so these are some of the apps that I've created before, and then I can create an app. So when I click on create an app, the first thing PowerHubs is going to ask you is that you should select a team to add your app to. So you have different teams in your organization, and that different people use, and you want to create this app for them to use. So I can come here and just select the team that I think I want to create the app on. So I have different teams here, but let me say I want to create it on a demo team. So I have a demo team. So I'm creating this app on a demo team, right? Then I will just click on create. Yeah, so immediately I click on create, it will take me to the App Studio of Teams App Studio, right? And it's getting things ready for me. And you see how interesting you can easily build app with Teams. And then it's very, very simple. When people tell you that Power Apps is hard, just tell them it's extremely simple. As long as you know how to do your drag and drop in PowerPoint, and you can write some basic formulas in Excel, just know that this tool is just like that. Okay, so now my studio is ready, and I can start building my app. So the first thing is asking me is name of your app. So what's the name of our app? Let's just think of something. Maybe anybody can borrow me name in the chat. What do we call this app? Or which app do you think we can build? You can just suggest something in chat. Which app do you think we can build? But I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Okay, so maybe we should build an app related to, okay, let me just think of something. Okay, so let's do a clocking app. So I want to clock into my organization, and then I need to, instead of, most people use paper and pen, right? When you want to clock in, or you want to fill an attendance, you just get to your organization, you sign in and you sign out. A lot of people don't do that again, and people misplace that paper. And even when you have that paper, you can't do a detailed report on it because you have to now hire somebody that will sit down with all those papers and be typing those input into Excel, right? But you can easily create an app on Teams that people can easily clock in with on Teams, right? So let me call this a clock in app. So I'm building a clock in app. Okay, so let me save. That's the name of my app that I'm building. And somebody said build a request management app with one upload feature. I should be the request management. Okay, that's awesome, but I've already started looking up. Okay, so don't worry. Maybe my next webinar I can be something related to that. So now I'm in Teams, right? And then one thing about Teams, like I said, although you can connect to different connectors, but you don't need that. Since you are in Teams, you can make use of your common data service. You can make use of your CDS, and working with CDS is even more simple in Teams. You know, a lot of us, a lot of terminologies in CDS actually confuse a lot of people, and Microsoft have actually made it simple now. Now entities is now called table, option sets are now called choices, fields are now called columns. So they've changed all those different things for you to be able to relate with CDS. Now I can say I want to create a new table by just come here and click on create new table, because every app must connect to a table actually. So now I want to connect to a new table, and what's the name of that table? I will just call it clock in table. That's the name of our table. So clock in, or let me just call it clock in app. So that's the name of my table. Then the plural name is also clock in table. So what will I call the plural name? Plural name, clock in table. Okay, I'll change that later, but let me just leave it as clock in table. That's the name of my table. Now I'm going to put different things in that table, different things in that table, the table I want to add my input to. So if I want to clock into my organization, what are the things I need? I need the name of that person. So I have a primary column here, right? So I can change this primary column and just call it full name, or maybe I should call it full name. Yeah, full name. I think full name makes sense. Full name. I'll save. Then I'm adding another field. So after you input your full name, you may need to put your email address so that we can know your email address. So I'll just call this email address. You are clocking in into an organization, email address, and that's email. Then I'll create. Then also I may need to check, okay, your phone number. So maybe we may want to call you later because you come to our organization. Maybe there's any issue. May want to call you later, so we need your phone number. So I'll just do phone, and after getting your phone number, what else do we need? Now we need your time in. So let me just say time in, or yes, time in, or date and time in, the date and time, so that it will be the same date and time in. So I will select date, right? I'm going to select date. For this one, now select create, then date and time out, date and time out. So I'll also select date here. So I've created this, full name, email, phone number, date and time in, date and time out. Then I also like to create like a unique number. So that will be a unique ID for that person that came in. It's like you sign in, like this person actually signed in, and that's the unique ID. So I will just say clock in ID. So I can just call it a clock in ID. And that clock in ID, I can do an auto number there so that it will generate an automatic number. Immediately you're clocking into our organization to generate a code for you, and that code can even be linked to some organization that give you tag, right? So they can easily print that tag and you just tag it to your chest. So I'll do an auto number for that. Then I can also add another thing, which is an options that maybe are you a staff or a visitor? So let me just say clocking type. So maybe I should call it clocking type. and that type, I will just do something called choice. This thing is called option set before. Microsoft just changed it to choice. And in this my choice, I will just say staff, and then this will be visitor. Visitor. Okay, so this will be so I'm trying to create an option set. I think my internet just okay. So this will be staff and visitor. So visitor, are you a visitor? Are you a staff? Are you a visitor? Are you a staff? So you can easily pick an option whether you're a visitor or you are a staff. So I have my table ready in Teams. I'm doing everything in Teams actually, and you can see that I'm not doing anything special. So my table is okay and my table is saved, so I can just do close. And one thing about, interesting thing about these Teams is that you can add an input. Let me say you can add a row, very simple, right? You can add an input, very simple. Unlike CDS that you need to now connect to Dynamics before you had something, or you can just connect to use Parkway to connect to something before you had. But this one, if you want to add an input, it's something you can easily add from here, even before creating your app. But let me close this. Let me close this. Now I've created a table, okay? And then this is my table. My table is loading. Once I have my table now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to connect this table to this PowerHubs interface so that PowerHubs can automatically create an hub that allows me to do an entry for me, a simple entry for me. And then this is loading right now. Okay, so I have my table loaded, right? And my table I just connect my table to this. Now let me preview this app. So look at this app up here. Let me just canvas size. So look at this app up here, and this app basically just shows you how you can easily create a new record. Very simple. If I click on new record here, new record, you will see all the input I added, all the fields really, full name, email address, phone number, date and time in, date and time out, clock in ID, clock in type. Can easily do that. Then I will just come here. Let me just add an input. Adewale Yusuf, and the email address is this. My phone number is this. My clock in date is on the 14th, and then this is also this. And my clocking ID, you know, that will be automatic. So I'm a staff, and then I can just do this. And maybe I select this, you will see my input here, which is a new input that I just added. You see that this interface make it look nice than what we even have on PowerHubs App Studio. This interface look more nice. What I can add to this app, you can add an home page, right? I can add another screen that shows maybe what my audience will see first before coming to this entry screen. And how do you add a screen? If I go to my tree view, how do you add a screen? You can easily come up here and click new screen, or you can also come up here and just do a new screen. So I want a blank screen. Okay, so I've done my blank screen here. I will just rename it. So let me double click it and just call this my main screen. This is my main screen, and I will move this my main screen up. So this is my input screen. Let me rename this. So it's nice to always rename your screen when you are working with PowerHubs. So on my main screen, I can do a little design. So let me say I can change the background color. But before changing the background color, maybe I should add an image. So let me look for an image to add. Which image can I add? So I'm trying to build a clocking app. So maybe I should look for something. Okay, let me just use this white background. Okay, so fill. So now I have this white background here. So I can just add a shape. So maybe I should add a shape. But for PowerHubs Studio Online, you know you have an insert at the top here, which you can easily click insert and insert different things. But for this particular one, there's no insert. You can always get everything that you need from this your insert is by the side here, this plus sign here. You can get your label, your form, you can get your input, you can get display, you can get layout. But for me, what I need is shapes, right? So I'll just come to shape and look for a rectangle. So let me look for it. I'm just trying to design my main screen now. So if I click on the rectangle, so this is my rectangle here, which I can just drag it over here. I can change the color to maybe something like this. And then inside this rectangle, I can just put a label inside here. And this is the label here. So label is just like you are adding a text box in PowerPoint. So that's what the label means. So I can add a label, and then the label will just be the name of this app, the name of this app. So for those that are new to PowerHubs, so you can easily come here, look at text. This properties allows you to change everything related to your to a particular let me call it, this is shape now. So a particular item you're working with. So these are the properties you can change. So what I will change inside there is not called labels. I want to call it clock in app, right? So that's the name of my app. Then I can increase the size here. Let me increase this to 40. Can increase the size. You can see that this is very simple. I'm not writing any code. I'm just doing a drag and drop. So that's why this is a canvas app. So you are dragging and dropping. So I can centralize this. Can even increase it more to maybe 45. So it will be bigger. Okay, so clocking up. Then I can also change the color. So I can change the colors to white. So this color we come out very well. So you can see that this is very simple. And then working with it is extremely simple. I'm just working with properties now. I'm not writing any code. I'm just clicking, and this is changing. I also change this to semi-bold. I can change it to bold so that it will be bold very well. And this is called clocking app. And I can do something like an automated welcome. So whenever you sign into this app, to just welcome you and put your name there so that you know that this is the person that wants to use this app. So I can add a label, and this is the label I'm putting here. And this label that I'm putting at the top here, I can do an automated feed in the formula bar. Look at the formula bar. So what I'm going to do in the formula bar is that I'm going to do something like our concatenate in Excel for those that use Excel very well, or text join in Excel. So I'll just do my double quote just at the same way you simplify a test. Welcome. And then this is the test I'm putting here. So I'm going to join this with ampersand. And then when I'm joining it with a formula that is called user, there's a formula called user. And what user is basically doing is that it's fetching the user of this app, right? So I can just do user, open and close my bracket. Now, which user do I want to use? I need to put a dot and just pick what I want to pick from this user. So I want to pick full name of this user. Okay, so full name of this user, welcome, the full name of this user. That's what I want to do. And up here, you can already see the test. So let me increase this so that you can see it perfectly. So let me change it to 30. Okay, so can you see this already? Welcome Adewale Yusuf. It's already showing welcome Adewale Yusuf here. So let me increase this and centralize it. Okay, so can you see this? It's already showing welcome Adewale Yusuf. So whoever signed into this app, it will show their name at the top here. Another thing you can do to beautify your app, especially when people create an app like this, most people don't like adding security to it or adding some kind of more things to it. So what I think you can also add is that you can decide to add something like a like sign-in page. So like you need people to put their email address before they can use this, they can log into this app. So if I had a label, if I had another label here, just like I did now, I had a label here. This label will just be something people need to type inside, right? People need to type inside the label, but don't let me use label. So maybe I should let me use a text box. A text box will make sense for this thing that I want to do. So I can come here and just pick a text box. Now, let me put a text box here. So a text box will just be there for my users to just put their email address, right? So the placeholder, what will be the placeholder? The placeholder should be type your, I'll just put type your email address. Type your email address, then I'll just remove this. So type your email address, I'll put that inside there so that my audience will see that they need to type their email address. Let me increase this size to maybe 25. So type your email address. I think 25 is too much, so let me do 20. Okay, then I can add a label at the top of it. Let me just put a label at the top of it, and that label will now be enter email here. So I'm trying to design my app now, and then you can see that this is very simple for me. Enter email here. Okay, and I'll change the size to 25, and then enter email here. So they know they need to enter email address here. And then I'll change the colors to, let me use this color here. Okay, so enter email here. So my audience need to enter email address here. They need to enter email address here. So they must put an email. So let me change this color of this to something right, so that they know they must put something here. I think that's too much. Okay, so I think I can use this. Okay, awesome. But it's too light, so let me use something sharp. And I don't want to use this. Okay, so let me use this. So type email here, and then I will just add a button. And the button I'm adding, remember in PowerHub Studio, you need to come to insert. But remember I said your insert is always here, is always on this plus. So you can come here and look for a button. So I can just put a button here. Look at this button that I'm putting here. And one key thing I also like about this Microsoft Teams Studio is that you can change your button from, there is a button type in Teams, which you can easily change from primary to secondary. And that secondary will easily just put your stuff in standard, which will come up with something nice and then something more nice, which I can also change maybe I can change the color of the line colors to this. So the button will just be there. And the display text for this button will just be login. Okay. So let me increase the size of my login to 20. Okay, so login, right? So let me play this. Let me preview this app. So presently now, let me change this preview to Windows size or canvas. Yeah. So presently now, you can easily put your email address here before you sign in. So there is a place to type your email address before you sign in. I can also create a text box for password. If I want people to use password before they sign into this app, I can. But let me just leave it as email address because of our time. So this email address, presently this button is not doing anything. What I want this button to do is to go to my input screen. Anytime people are in, let them click on this login and they will go to input screen. I'm sure we all, for those that are familiar with this already, you can easily do navigate and you navigate to the next screen. But you have to change your property here to unselect, right? So that when people select this button, what do you want them to do? So when you select this button here, when you select this button, you want this button to navigate to, so navigate is just like a function that helps you to navigate, just like an hyperlinks function. So navigate to input screen, right? So the formula is there now. So if I come to this preview now, let me preview this in Canvas, and I click on login. This will go to my input. Can you see it go to my input? It goes to my input immediately. I click login, but I don't want it like that. I want an email address to be put here first. In fact, to also validate the person that is using this app, I want them to type their user email. The email address you are using to accessing this app is what I want you to type there. The email address you're using to accessing this app is what I want you to type there. So if I want you to do that, I can restrict that by just adding a formula to this. And the formula that we add is just a condition, if statement, right? And that if statement is just to to test something. If this text box one that I have here, if text box, look at this text box one dot value, the value inside text box one is equal to user. Remember that user, the user email address. I'm comparing this with user email address now. If what you drop is your user email, so look at this. If textbox.value is equals to user email address, right? Let me zoom this for those people that can't see this. If textbox.value is equals to user.email address, right? Then navigate. What I want you to do, if this condition is correct, that's my logical test. If this condition is correct, navigate to input screen. I'll close my bracket. But if not, don't do anything. So I'll just close my bracket. So if not, don't do anything. But if this is correct, navigate to input screen. Okay, sorry, I think I typed the input here 2 times. So let me delete this IN. Okay, so navigate to input screen. But if not, just remain here. Now let me preview this app. Okay, let me change this to canvas. So let me preview this app. So look at this app. If I click on login now, can you see that I can't log in with this app? Login is not going. And if I type another email address, let me say I just type wrong email. I just type any nonsense test inside that text box. It's not going, right? Until I type the correct email address I'm using as the user. That is when this app will allow me to sign in. So I'm using wusuf@dbrandconsulting.net. So until I type that, that is when I can click on login, and this app will allow me to log in, right? Now, once I'm logged in here, I can now add a new record. I'll just click on new record. Then from new record, I can put a name. I can just say Ola Charles. I'm adding this as Ola Charles. I'm sure Ola is watching, so I'm adding his name, Ola Charles, and his email address is olacharles@gmail.com, and then his phone number is 089088877. Don't mind me, I'm just putting a dummy. And the date he comes to the office is just this, and time date out is also this, and the clock ID. You know this is going to come up automatically. So it's a visitor. So immediately I do this. Look at this. So I have Ola Charles here now, and you can see his unique ID. His unique ID is 1001, and the Adewale Yusuf I added before is 1000, right? That's the unique ID that I added to this. Another thing I can add to this app, I can add a home button here, so that if I want to go back to my home screen, I can easily come to my shape and look for maybe I should even go to media and look for something that look like, no, I need an icon, really, not really media. So I need to go to where I can see something that will give me something, an icon like I need an icon like home icon. So I don't need this one. So I need an home icon. But let me see if I can have that here. These are just popular inputs. Okay, so let me see if I can use. Okay, so I'm trying to look for more things I can use here, but it's not here. But okay, let me just use a test label. And what I would just do with the test label, I will just call this home. I'll just type home here, and then I will increase the size so that my audience will see it. Let me change it to 20. Okay, home. And I'll put the home test at the top here. Home. So home, let me change the size to 18. I think it's too big. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that when people select this home, what did I want this thing to do? What did I want this home to do? So I'll change these properties to unselect. I want you to navigate back to my main screen so that you can easily go back to my main screen when I want to go back home. Okay, so now let me preview this app. If I click on home now, so home should be able to take me back to this, my home screen. This is where I want home to take me to. Welcome Wale Yusuf, clock in app, enter your email address here. So home should be able to take me here. So another thing I can add to this my app, like I said, is I can add an automation to this app that when people sign into the office, they can notify HR or send notifications to HR. Send a notification to HR so that HR will be able to see whether this person have actually signed in. So I can add an automate that will send an emails to the HR. And how did you do that? It's just by adding a button. Okay, so I want to add the buttons to this my input screen, and then the button I'm adding, let me just go to my popular, add the button, and I will put the button here. Let me put the button here. So I'll just say notify HR. So immediately you clock in, you may want to notify your HR, right? Let me increase the size so that we can see this. Notify HRs. Remember I said I like using this the standard. Now we change the colors to this. Okay, so notify HR. I want to notify HR, and what I'm doing notifying HR is that immediately you come to the office, I want you to just send an email to the HR that this person has signed in. Okay, and then let me look at my time. I think I still have like 20 minutes. Look, I think I should be able to do that in 15 minutes. Okay, so I'll add a Power Automate to this, and if you click on this three dots here, you have Power Automate, you have collections, variable, and account details. So I can do Power Automate, and then on my Power Automate here, on my Power Automate, I have an automation here that says send an email. Send email. I can decide to use this if I don't want to waste my time, or I can create a new flow, right? I can create a new flow. If I click on create a new flow, this will take me to Power Automate. And from Power Automate, I can now start creating the flow that I want to create. And you see that my environment is using the demo hub because I select the demo team in PowerHubs. So I want to start my automation from PowerHubs. So I can actually start from here. So I'll select PowerHubs as my trigger. Then once the button is selected in PowerHubs, what do I want to do? I want it to send email. So I'll just look for send email. Yes, can you see it? Send email. So I'll just click on send email. And then to who do you want to send this email to? So I can specify my HR email address here. I'll just put it out here that my HR email address is Yusuf Ahmed Adewale at gmail.com. I can also make this dynamic because I can ask in PowerHubs. Instead of doing it here, I can just tell this Power Automate to go and ask for the email address in PowerHubs. Then the subject is sign in notification. Notification, and the body is the so person. So I will just put ask in PowerHub, which you ask for the name of that person and just sign into the office, right? So the so person asks this in PowerHubs and then just sign into Power Automate, just sign into the office, right? So I don't know why this is complaining. So just sign into the office. Okay. In fact, let me just ask this in PowerHubs. I don't want to put it here. So let me just write the dynamic and just say ask in PowerHubs. Okay. All right. So I have ask in PowerHubs. and this is send email v2 to and send email v2 body. So I can save this by just putting the name and just say HR notification. HR notification, and I'll save HR notification. So this is just the automation that I want, and this is saving right now. This is saving right now. I'm just saving a simple flow that I just did. So if I come back here, I should be able to see my HR notification here. Can you see that? So I can click on it to add this HR notification to the button that I created before. So this is adding the HR notifications to my button now. Kindly be dropping your question in chat. If you have any question for me, you can be dropping it in chat. I'm going to respond to all of them once I am done. Okay, so now look at this. So let me go to Unselect. Remember Unselect. Okay, so edit my formula. Okay, it's not showing the formula. So let me add it again. I'll just click on HR notification. All right, so look at this. So it's created something called run. So run from Power Automate simply means that you want to run this button so that when you click this will go and trigger my Power Automate. And then if you notice, I only have 2 arguments under my automate, because if you look at this, I have this. I told Power Automate to add this in PowerHub and also this in PowerHubs. And those are the basic things I need to add to my Power Automate. Send email body. So what will be the body of the email? So I use name here. I use name. So name is what I use for this one. And if you look at this, my input screen here. So the full name of this person that I put here is full name data card 1. So I can easily come here and just say full name data card 1 dot default. So I want you to send this to that's the name of the person. Then the second one is the 2, right? And that 2 basically is just my HR email address. So I can just specify it inside here. I'll just say Yusuf Ahmed Adewale at gmail.com. And I'll close my bracket. Okay, so I didn't finish my quote. All right, so what I just did basically is that I put the first argument here, which is full name data card dot default, and then the second argument is just basically 2, and my 2 is Yusuf Ahmed. So in fact, I can even automate this if I don't want to type it like this. I can say I also want email address dot default, but that's just email address of the person. So, but I can still use it. Email, yes, email address data card dot default. Okay, so that's my second argument, and I've closed my bracket really. So where's this coming from? Yeah, I think I've closed my bracket and my formula is fine. So let me see where this error is coming from. Okay, all right, so let me test this. So this error is not here and it's still showing. I guess my team is just acting up. So immediately I click on notify HR now, and I've filled my form already. So this is supposed to send an email to my HR. So my HR is supposed to send an email to my HR. So when I check the email address that I drop in chat, I should be able to see that notification coming to my email. I should be able to see that notification coming to my email. Okay, so let me just check my email address. 1 second. All right, So I'm dragging my email address to the screen. So look at this. So it has notified me immediately. Adewale Yusuf just signed into the office. Can you see that it automate that process? Adewale Yusuf just signed in to the office. If I use somebody else name, maybe I put David Okeyede here, Okeyode, and then the email address is this. Let me just use my own email address. Now just do David Okeyode, and then the date in is this, date is this, date out is also this, and then is a visitor, then notify. I'll just click on this. Now I've added this input, David Okeyode. So if I notify the HR, I click on notify HR now, I should be able to get another email address that says that David Okeyode just signed in. Look at this. David Okeyode just signed into the office. David Okeyode just signed into the office, right? So that's a lot of automation you can add to your PowerHubs. Another thing I can add, another beautification I can add is that I can say that immediately you add a new record, it should give you a success page. So that when you go to that success page, just say that your input has been taken successfully. All right, so I can add different things like that and make my app look more nice and neater, right? So that's just a simple way of working with PowerHubs. And after you've been able to create your app successfully, you can now publish this to teams. So when you publish this to teams, all your team members will now be able to see this. So look at this. So the version of the app will be available for everyone to use. Let me just click next. So now I want to publish this app to Teams. I've built an app in Teams, and I also want people to also use it in Teams so that my colleagues can easily go to Teams and just go there and then use it right there in Teams. Okay, so now it's asking me where did you want to put it? So let me just put it in this COVID-19 tests. Clock in app, save and close. I just put it in this channel. That's what I did. Okay, so I just put it in that channel. So let me pin this first. So if I go to that channel, let me go to my team, and then that channel is called COVID-19 test. And can you see the clock in app right here? It has already been deployed here. And you can see it right here in this channel, clock in app. Clock in app. I'll just do allow, clock in app. Okay, so can you see that this app is right here already? But I think I need to zoom this. My zoom is too, the size is too much. Okay, so and I need to just put my email address here to sign in, and people can start using this app from Teams right here, which I've already curated. So thank you so much for being here, and I would like to take different questions now. If you guys have any question for me, that would be very, very interesting based on the demo that I just did. But let me just take a question for like 5 minutes before we now round up. Okay. All right, so I can see a question already that says, will every user be restricted to the value they enter, or will they have access to other check-in details? So restricted to the values they enter. Restricted to the value they enter. So if you mean by what you mean by restricted is maybe there are a particular thing you want them to enter, and then so that's just a condition, really. That's what you can do. I can make that column required if that is what you mean. You can make it required so that you need to put something inside. You need to put something inside there before they can continue with the app. So you can make it required, or you can also specify the things you want them to put inside there. Then I have another question that says, will everybody, Olachas, thank you, Olachas, thank you for supporting, thanks for featuring my name, that's fine. Can I query the database where the records are being stored? Say like SQL query. Yes, definitely, you can query the database. Yes, you can definitely query the database, yeah. Is this application mobile responsive? Yes, it is. So it's mobile responsive. You can change it to. Presently, I'm using a tablet. I'm using a tablet now. So because I'm using my system. So if you are using Teams on your phone, it will automatically switch to mobile. It's mobile responsive when you are using Teams on your phone. Yeah, it is. It is mobile responsive. So do we have any other question? Any other question? Kindly drop it in chat if you have any other question. Okay, so Ola said, how can we track the exact location the user is at the point of clocking in? Yeah, so it's something you can do. So you can use a geocode. So you can add a geocode to your app so that anywhere that particular person sign in, the geocode location will just show, right? So remember I said there are different connectors you can add to your app. So you can add a geocode to that app so that anytime anybody join, anybody do anything on that app, it will just show their location, to show their location automatically. This is the place that this person actually filled this.